In 1938, Heinrich Himmler, a leading member of the Nazi Party and one of the main persons responsible for the entire Holocaust, signed construction on Ravensbrück concentration camp for women. From 1939 to 1945, over 100,000 women from 20 different European countries died at Ravensbrück. One of those 100,000 women was Betsie ten Boom, Elizabeth Betsie ten Boom. She was the older sister of Corrie ten Boom, who most of you have heard of her. She wrote the book, The Hiding Place. The Hiding Place was their account of their arrest and their time in the concentration camps during World War II. Betsie ten Boom was unable to have children, so she decided at a very young age that she would not marry. So she became an awesome homemaker, especially for her younger sister Corrie, and she was the bookkeeper of her father's watch shop. The ten Boom family house was raided by the Gestapo February 28, 1944. They were accused of being part of the Dutch resistance. They had built a secret room inside of their house that hid Jews during the war. The entire family was arrested. Caspar ten Boom, their father, died 10 days later. Corrie and Betsie were sent to a prison. They were sent to Vaught concentration camp after that, and then finally they were sent to Ravensbrück concentration camp. They were forced to do hard labor and only able to eat one small potato a day. Betsie became very sick and very frail. It was very hard for her to work under those conditions. She began to get pretty sick. However, Betsie ten Boom was an amazing woman of God. She took every opportunity that she could to share the gospel inside a concentration camp where there was disease, torture, pestilence infestation. She looked to God and thanked God for every single thing. Betsie was able to bring people together despite their language barrier and despite their conditions. She taught them how to come together, to work together, and to love each other. She was able to share the gospel with all the women around her in her barracks. At one particular time, they were all praying, and Betsie had told Corrie, "You need to thank God for these fleas." Fleas had infested their entire barracks. Corrie hesitated and said, "Betsie's wrong. I will not thank God for these fleas." But she did it. Later to find out that Betsie and Corrie were able to share the gospel among the women in their barracks because the guards would not come inside of their barracks because of the fleas. Therefore, they had free reign to share the gospel. And that is exactly what Betsie did. Betsie was an absolute strong leader. She believed in Christ, and she knew that no matter what was going on around them, that these women needed to hear the gospel. This was her mission field. She never harbored any hatred. She never showed any hatred. In fact, she was always encouraging and lifting up, despite of being, in what we think as Americans, one of the most horrible, horrible acts in history that could ever happen was the Holocaust. They would hear horrible screams at night as they lay their heads down to go to bed, but they never swayed. She never swayed her faith. Not only did they save 800 people from hiding people inside of their house, Betsie was able to minister to about 100 women in their barracks and to share the love of Christ with them. So if you think about that, every single thing that she did in her life, she glorified God, and she was excited. No matter what conditions that she was in, Betsie loved God and was able to share her faith. This is why I look up to Betsie. I could never, ever, ever imagine being put in such a horrible situation, let alone thank God for it as an opportunity to share His Word. I have learned a lot from Betsie ten Boom.